I think we lost the connection, right? Or was a Zoom
Yes.
problem, something like that?
All right. I think we are back, right? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Samuel.
All right. So sorry
Just
for
can't see
that.
you.
Okay.
That happens. Zoom problems. I think Mary Grace was talking when I went
Yeah.
down.
Okay.
Not sure if she's gonna rejoin again.
All right.
If you can email her and Carl, she join again. Oh, Carl is here. Great.
Kai is here.
Mm, yeah.
All right. So guys, we are so sorry for that technical issue. I don't know if Grace is back. Grace, are you here?
Yeah, I told her already.
Oh, thank you. So, I'll be sharing my own experience, the program experience, and how it went for me. I joined the program September, and the program was really awesome. The first week I had to onboard where I had to sign up and talk about register my time zones and all. And the first week of the program, we were grouped into 4 groups. I was in group D. All right, Grace, are you done speaking? So sorry for that.
Oh yeah, I'm done. Thank you so much for that.
All right, so sorry. So I was in group D, and Christy was my program manager during the first week. We were about 20 in a group, and we had our first program meeting, and there we had to introduce ourselves, name, country, your school, and your major. So what the experience did to me was that I gained a lot of network across the world. I met students from US, from Indian, from Philippines. No, I didn't meet anybody from Philippines like this. From Germany, from several places. So we were grouped based on our time zones, and our meeting for me was in the evening, 4 p.m. And also we were given weekly tasks. Where the first week we were signed up for a course on National Geographic platform, a course on ocean challenges and solutions, which it was a certified course. I received a certificate after doing the course, and we were asked to share our experience and review about the course. That was the first task I did. And also, we provided training modules all through the programs that helps you to understand what you have to do and deadlines for your task. So you have training modules that you have to read, links to articles, links to videos and materials that will guide you on what to do and how to carry out the task that has been given to you. Also on Fridays, we used to have company meetings with experts from National Geographic Society and the Nature Conservancy. So they tell us what they do, what the department do, what their company do, and how they carry out their research. And they also provide answers to questions and challenges students are having about their projects. I remembered when I decided to go on my projects, I carried out a research on what's my project again? Okay, my project was the untold story about Harold suicide at Liberia. Please kindly mute yourself when you join. All right, so I carried out a research to check different marine challenges in a local community here in Ondo State, Nigeria, where I school, and I had to visit the local community. One of the things company meetings did for me was to give me insight on how to penetrate into the community because it's a local community and they don't want to hear anything about conservation. So company meetings, it is essential you participate in it, and one of the criteria for you to receive stipend and certificate at the end of the program was to have at least 50% attendance to hall meetings, program meetings, and company meetings. So also we were grouped into a workshop team of 5 where you meet students from different groups. I had friends from group A, group B, group C, and we are meant to have agenda and workshop meetings. We decided on the day and time we'll be meeting. So the purpose of the workshop is just to network and share ideas with other students from other groups. So we meet weekly to discuss okay, our projects, our personal stories, and whatever we can share to just to connect better. So towards the ending of the program, after we have uploaded our research work and projects on the Paragon One Student platform, You were selected for audition because you are to outstanding projects were selected for presentation to the sponsoring company, that's National Geographic and Nature Conservancy. So I was fortunate to be selected for my group to present my project, and I was also selected for the final presentation, where 7 students were selected from group C and D. And my project came out outstanding at the end of the program. So I received an outstanding certificate. I also received my stipend of $500, though it came quite late due to bank issues. So that's just my experience during the program. So if you have any question, I think you can drop that into the chat box. Either you have questions for Grace, for Carl, for myself, or Penel. Just drop that into the chat box. I think we'll have enough time to take questions. So before we take questions, Penel would like to tell you about some of the Paragon programs that are available to you. So Penel, you can take over from here.
Sure, thank you, Samuel. So just a minute, I'm just copying the link here and share. I have another opportunity to share with you, since you guys are like all overachievers here, like on a Saturday, trying to understand more about potential opportunities that are global. So we are launching this week the Bridges webinar series. And what is Bridges? Bridges is a webinar where we connect students with company leaders from like really major companies in the world. Like to give you an example, this week we're gonna have as speakers a head of director from HSBC Bank, from JP Morgan Chase, and from other 2 companies. I'm gonna put on the website here so you guys can have more information about that. So make sure you register using this link. It is like last year we had this Bridges webinar. It was a huge success. So we're launching the second series. And the idea is like to bring corporate leaders to talk to students directly and about their careers, how to achieve more impact with their careers, how to apply to those organizations, how to get opportunities, and sharing about their lives and their experience. So I think it's super, super valuable. It's hard for you to get someone with that caliber talking to you as a student and so openly. So I think it's a really great opportunity for everyone to join. Our first webinar is going to be next Friday. It is going to be with Steve Suarez from HSBC. He's a global head of innovation. We're going to have executive director of JP Morgan Chase, Yasmin Carey, and also QQ Tong from United Healthcare Group, and Anna Dobb from Cheddar News. So it's going to be great. Please let me know if you have any questions about that. Please sign up for the Bridges webinar. I also put my LinkedIn on the chat, so feel free to connect with me. I'm open for questions right now.
All right, thank you, Penel. So we have questions in the chat box, which okay. So from Henry Canto is asking, or I don't know if he's and he or she, what are the expected topics to be discussed in the program? Penel, can you help us give response to that?
I can, but I think that Carl or Grace are going to talk much better than me about this. So because we're not changing or you, Samuel. So I'm going to let you guys answer.
All right, Grace, can you tell us what are the expected topics?
Oh yeah, sure. As you can see from the program title itself, Marine and Community Conservation. So the main output for the program, as we've mentioned, is a story map. But if you think about it, you don't really have, because my experience, you might think that you're supposed to be near a coastal community, but it's actually not. For me, there are actually people who don't live near the sea during the program, and they still made very compelling story maps, because what we were taught during the program itself was the ocean is connected to so many other issues inland. It doesn't have to be you don't have to live near coastal communities or within coastal communities to be able to write a problem or to be able to cover an issue related to marine conservation. So I could actually share some links of very compelling story maps that made me really amazed during the program because there are so many talented people that I've met during the program, and I really love their work, their story maps. And yeah, yeah, just give me some minutes, a few minutes to share the link. I guess Carl and Samuel can also talk about what other topics because yeah, there's a lot. Like for example, solid waste management. Um, yeah, there's a lot really about marine conservation issues that doesn't really have to be in a specific coastal community only.
All right, Carl, can you share your thoughts about the question?
Yeah, I think just the same with Grace that it's so diverse. I mean, the topics and the themes of our story maps even are so diverse in such a sense that it depends on like the particular extern to whatever um I mean issue he or she is trying to give a solution to or like give this story to. So I think like the common denominator of it all is that we are able to learn and apply various like primary and secondary research methods. As like Grace have said, that she had this really compelling primary research methods, and also we are able to like speak to local leaders, conservationists, etc. So yeah, it's more really of, I mean, not necessarily that you're on the field, because some of, again, as what Grace have said, some of our fellow externs have been like, I mean, not near the sea, but they are still able to, connect with scientists online, to, have this written and storytelling skills, and especially to identify the gaps between those. So, yeah.
All right, thank you. So like they both said, the expected topics is just basically on marine. You can consider any issue, conservation issue in marine, and through the training modules, you'll be guided on how to carry out your research, how to come up with a project topic or problem, and also how to penetrate into whatever local community you want to carry out your research. So you'll be taught how to identify gaps between challenges and solutions. So Grace has shared links to a story map that you can see. So you also be trained on how to use ArcGIS story map tool to create your story. So I hope we've all answered that. So Adiola will be taking over from here. Adiola, please, can you take over the question?
I can jump in one question here that I'm reading. I'm reading one question that is, how many externs is the organization looking for? So, can you hear me?
Yes,
I
we
think
can.
yes, it just froze Samuel. So, yeah, we are for this program, like for this cohort, we're looking for 100 people. Last time we have 100 from 34 different countries in the world. So we are looking for diversity the same way that we look from the last cohort. But as I mentioned, this should not be your last opportunity. We're going to have other cohorts for NGS and TNC this year. Cannot reveal more details when and where and how it's going to work, but we're going to have other opportunities. But for this specific, it's 100 people that we're looking for to start on March 7th.
All right, thank you very much. So do we still have questions? Let me check. All right, Penny, I would like to ask, what are the review criteria? Okay, you mentioned that. I realized some of the applicants from my end, their application has been pending for weeks, and I'm wondering, many of them have been questioning me what could be the issue. Can you shed more light on that?
Okay. So yeah, don't worry if you don't get an answer like directly right after you apply. And this is why. We are getting an overwhelming number of applicants for all the programs that we launched this past month. So it can take some time to process your application. We are start like moving quickly on the pipeline, but if you're still pending there, if you didn't get an answer, my advice for you is kind of first, like if you haven't applied, apply as fast as possible. If you think that you're gonna apply one day before the program ends and you're gonna consider you, like that's impossible, right? So don't let for the last day, because I have like people that apply in like one day before the program started, not the application deadline finished. So apply as early as possible and be a little bit patient. Like we're gonna review all the applications that we get by the next couple of weeks. We have a huge and great team like working on this right now. So don't worry if you don't get an answer for us. Something that is useful is like take a look on your spam, because we communicate with you with an email, and some students get the email to spam because like we're from another country, and it kind of for Google sometimes it's suspicious and whatever. So keep your eye on the spam folder. But other than that, like if you apply, you're gonna hear from us either like if you're rejected or if for the next step. As we have like 3 steps on this process. First, review our application. If like you stood out in your application review, you go for a video interview where you post your video answers for video questions that we have for you. We review that, and for the ones that we think they have a fit, we go for the last part, but not the least, which is a live interview with our team. So it's a very rigorous process, but we do that very quickly. Usually, the average time to process an application is less than 20 days. I know you guys are anxious about it, but yeah, everything is gonna be okay. So we're gonna consider your application as long as you apply on the application deadline.
All right, thank you. So a quick one also for you, Penel. This is Benga. Lawrence is said he has worked on water pollution and deforestation and also produced a story map. Do you think he can continue that project using the externship?
We are looking for community and marine conservation, right? Okay. So if you can make the connection when you started your externship and there is a clear connection, I don't know like details about your study, but if you can make the connection, yes, like how, as an example, like how water pollution like is affecting your community, right? Something like that would be acceptable. But you have to make that connection, and we're here like to hear from, if you get selected, we're here to hear from you and help you through the process. So you're gonna have some time to think about that.
All right, thank you. So another one for you again, Penel, from Marcel. When is the deadline? Is there any plan to extend the deadline?
We are not gonna extend the deadline. The deadline, let me just check here. I guess it's like the 21, but because I have like so many programs right now, I need to, I sometimes I'm getting confused. So let me check here. So yeah, it's the 28th, February 28th. That's the last day that you can apply and consider yourself. But I urge you to apply as soon as possible.
Okay, all right, thank you. So do we still have any more questions before we wrap up? Question. Okay, quick one. Grace and Carl, what would you advise people that are planning to apply as soon as possible? What would you advise them? What guide can you give them for the application? Starting with Grace.
Okay. I think one important thing that you have to consider when you apply is highlighting 2 specific things. The first one is what you can offer to the program. So what are your strengths, your capacity, what makes you stand out among all the other applicants? Because there are definitely a lot, but they will only be selecting a few from those who applied. And the second one is what you plan to take from the program. So it's like a 2-way street, what you want to do in the program and what you want to take away after this. So I think that will make your application stronger because it shows that you really have a plan, like after the program, what you want to do in the future and how the program can help you become a better advocate, for instance, for marine conservation. So yeah, that's what I can share.
All right, thank you. What about you, Car?
I totally agree with what Grace said. I think you should be able to sell yourself, especially to those who, I mean, from the Paragon One team who reviews your application, because basically I mean, you need to stand out as what Grace have highlighted. And also another thing is that I think I've also said it to my applicants, referred applicants, that they need to speak from their experience and they need to speak from their core, especially if they are really passionate with marine conservation, especially during the live interview, wherein you will be asked questions, random questions from Paragon One team. So you just have to be, confident that you have this experience and that you want to, to further this experience with your marine conservation externship. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. So, okay. Adela, do you have anything to say?
Yeah. Hi everyone. Thank you so much for coming. Starting from Penny, Car, and Grace. Really appreciate it for your time. Thank you so much.
All right, that's Adela. I guess she had technical issues. She was supposed
Trying to, yeah, be sensitive.
host us today. So, all right, even as we'll be rounding up soon, I don't know, is there any more question from anyone?
Okay, let me ask this question now. Let me ask from anyone. Like, as an applicant, what do you have any tips you can give us? Like, starting from the video interview to the last one, like, any tips?
All right, Grace, I think she's trying to ask that, is there any advice you can give applicants about the video response and the live interview? I think most students are nervous about that.
Okay. So this is from me coming from a non-native English speaker background. So it really took me a lot of time to do the recorded interview. I even made like a script before answering the questions because I was not that confident in my speaking skills. And even before the live interview, I really practiced possible questions that may be asked. So yeah, I think that's my tip for anyone who's applying, to really make the effort to make yourself stand out and be confident with yourself. Be confident that you have the capacity to be accepted in this program, because I feel like during when I was applying, I have this imposter syndrome, like, why will they accept me? Am I even good enough? But if you yourself don't believe that you are capable of being accepted in the program, then why would you expect those people screening your application to do so, right? So I think you also have to be confident in your skill and believe that you are capable of being accepted into this very competitive program. And
All right.
just be yourself.
All right, Kyle, is there any advice from your hand also?
Yeah, I just want to also would like to add with like the face on the video response, because it's actually one of the it's like a huge leap from like the written application form. So yeah, I think you need to take your time, but do not take too much time on that. I mean, you just need to like so again, just like Grace, I also have written my script and kind of like reviewed if it's good, if it's it's
Sorry.
yeah.
Sorry.
So yeah, it's okay. And also yeah, just be true to what you are, just be true to what you're saying, because it will always show later on, especially during the live interview. So what if your live interview and then your video responses are not congruent with each other? So it will be a really hard time for the team to select you or something. So
Right,
yeah, just be true to yourself.
All right, thank you. So my advice is, just like Dave said, write out your response in scripts for the video response. I think it took me 2 days before I made a perfect recording for my live video response last year. So write out, practice as much as you are possible, ensure you are confident. And also for your live interview, make sure you share your personal story about conservation or marine community engagement. just make sure you are sharing your story, because most questions that you will be asked will be about you, about what you are capable of offering and your personal skills. So be confident about your story. Feel free to enjoy the live interview. I believe your interview will be fun to speak with. So I think lastly, before we wrap up, someone is asking that is story map the only expected output after the program? My answer is yes. The story map is how you present and share your project and everything you have done. So I believe that's all for today. So as we wrap up, I want to appreciate Penna Rodolfo, Grace, and Carl for joining us today. Thank you so much for making it a great time with us. And I also want to appreciate everyone that's joined us across Philippines, across Africa, across Nigeria. Thank you so much. If you have any further questions, feel free to connect with us through our LinkedIn and feel free to ask us questions on how you can proceed with your application. So lastly, I would like to let you know that you have to have a good resume to apply. So after this webinar, if you are planning to apply, get your resume ready and you can meet any of us, myself, Carl, and Grace. We are student ambassadors and we'll be available to put you through the application process. So thank you so much. So please, lastly, can we take a screenshot? Everyone kindly put on your camera so we can take a picture.
That would be amazing. Everyone put the camera on for a screenshot. I promise you I'm gonna show this to NGS and TNC.
Oh, that would be fun. All right, so what will happen is at the count of 3, everyone should take a screenshot from your hand. I will take a screenshot from my hand. So you can post on LinkedIn, tag myself, tag Carl, tag Grace, Penna, and Paragon One. Are we good to go? So at the count of 3, we'll be taking a screenshot and ensure you upload it on LinkedIn, on your Facebook, on your Instagram, and tag us. 1, 2, 3. All right. Thank you so much. So enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Good luck.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.
All right. Take care, guys.
Thank you, Samuel.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you everyone.
Thank you, Grace. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Carl.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Adiola. Thank you, Adiola, for making this a success.
You're welcome. I tried a lot.